Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. I'm ready to fucking pod. Beautiful Jersey night. Let's go, man. Hey, come on, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I love every single one of y'all who actually watches the podcast. Thank you. I mean it. Now let's get to fucking podding, man. Welcome, welcome. Ladies, gentlemen, everything in between. Welcome to the Case Study Podcast. I am your host, Isaias Hernandez. And I'm just here to give you guys a good time. Let's talk about some shit, man. Let's talk about some shit. Woo! I'm hyped. Come on. Let's talk about some shit, man. I'm here. Woo! Alright, I'm here. Alright. I know I'm a loser. I listen to music before I start this thing to get me like hyped up. Like I was playing some sport or some shit. Shit's real though. Shit's real. Alright, man. Let's talk about some shit, man. Alright. So during this in trying to find good topics to talk about with you guys, I have interesting conversations with people. And I guess this is where I'll start it. A couple people this past week asked me, "Yo, why did you call this the Case Study Podcast? Why, like, what made you call your podcast that?" That's a good question. I'll do my best to try to explain it, because when I made the first episode of this, I kind of just did it. I had two names in mind. I had the Case Study Podcast, which was number one, and the Experiment. No, the Experiment was number one. Pardon me. The Experiment was number one, and the Case Study Podcast. I thought about the name. After I had recorded it. It was like right before I released it. I had literally titled the YouTube video "The Experiment number one," episode number one, and I kind of had to change of heart last minute. So I changed it to the Case Study Podcast because I like the ring to it. Now, why? The Experiment name, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. This was supposed to be an experiment to see how if I liked it or not, and I was gonna roll with that name. But a few years back, I took a psychology course, and one of the areas of study in that class was the types of testing they did. And one of the types of testing, one of the definitions we had to memorize was the case study thing. It wasn't the most effective means of testing in like psychology standards, but it was a pretty good like. It was an interesting concept because they would gather information on one individual or a group of like chosen individuals, and they would study them throughout their life. So yeah. And that definition kind of stuck with me. So why did I choose it for the name of this podcast? When the people asked me, I kind of didn't know. Like, I kind of didn't know how to answer them because I kind of didn't know why I chose it. I kind of just like the name. I like the ring to the Case Study Podcast. But as like I kind of like, I guess dug deeper into my into the meaning of what I intended it to. In the 19 years that I've been alive, and 19 in December, in the 19 years that I've been alive, I feel like life has put me through so much shit. And I want to get to the point with this podcast where I just come on here like one episode and explain everything, like just talk about everything that happened to me. I feel like I've been through so much. Like life has taken me through this journey to where I view shit like just a little bit differently. You know, like that's it is a gift and a curse, honestly. And so when I went into naming this, that definition of the case study kind of stuck with me. You know, I kind of like the idea of one person giving their story, and then like, as I realized, I was like, yo, I'm only like 19. Like, shit is still to come. Like, I still got a whole life to live if God allows it. If God allows it. And yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I feel like I've been blessed enough to get to this point, and I guess I want to document it in some way, and this is a means to do it. This is a way for me to do that. One day, man. One day I'm gonna get to that point. I got the shit that happened to me is kind of incriminating. So I kind of don't want to like just go out on a ledge and say everything, but I do want to get to that point with this podcast, with this platform, to just open up to y'all, like completely, like 100%, just lay down everything that has happened to me. And man, it's been a lot. So yeah, that's why I named it the case study. It has a good name. It has a good ring to it. I like it. Now, last podcast, I talked about Kanye West, and I talked about his brilliance in bringing two coins to the same, how do I put this? I talked about his brilliance in bringing two sides together in one common, what do you mean? What's it called? Like he bought two sides and he brought them to common ground. I touched on that briefly, and he released his album, Jesus is King. It is a gospel album, and he released an interview to go with it. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch the interview because I just didn't. I only saw clips floating around of him talking, and those clips reminded me exactly why I did not watch that interview. He is all right. Kanye West is an artist in every sense of the word. He is an artist. People like me, I don't mix well with artists. I don't understand artists. I don't understand artistry like so much, and that's just like I'm kind of on the other side of that spectrum when it comes to artistry and the shit he be saying and he be spewing. It kind of don't resonate with me. I feel like it's mad basic shit. I feel like he's been saying the same shit for years now. There's nothing authentic to it. And yeah, so that's kind of the reason why I didn't watch it. I did hear the album. It was okay. I gave it a listen, and that was really it. There's not really too much to say about that, but too much to say about the album or his interview. Other than I kind of talked about it the last podcast, but I did want to talk about one thing, which is religion. And religion is one of those things where it's so like it's such a common thing to in humanity to live by. Like you kind of live by religion. Like a lot of people live by their religion, and when they have conflicting religions, it affects the how you perceive someone. So I kind of like when I go on social media, honestly, like I see more of Kanye's fan base being lost to the fact that he did a gospel album than anything else. That includes all the right wing stuff that he's spewing. I feel like he lost a lot of his fan base when he decided to make this gospel album, and when it released, he lost a lot of people. I think that's due to religion, because the project is a solid project. It's not his best work. Decent. I feel like this one was better, but because it has a connotation of religion, people don't like it, or people didn't listen. And I guess I'll talk about this too. And that's my main beef with religion. Mine. This is a personal thing. Me. Religion, the only thing religion is good for is the separation of people. And don't misconstrue what I'm saying either. People can believe what they want, and those beliefs can be tied. But I'm I'm gonna paint the picture why. I'm gonna give you a scenario as to why I don't like religion like that. So if you guys don't know, I am part-time working at Walmart along with another like number of ventures that I'm doing. I work at Walmart and I'm a cashier at Walmart. So when I was cashiering, it's happened to me a couple times. This guy comes up to me and he starts talking to me about while I'm ringing him up, he starts talking to me about religion. And he starts talking to me about how people are supposed to be God-fearing. And I agree with that. People, like, if you believe in a higher power, you're supposed to give your everything to that higher power. I do believe in a higher power. I give my everything to that higher power. But then it sounded like he was trying to intimidate me into believing his belief system, which was, I think, I want to say Catholicism, but I'm not 100% sure. He tried to get me to, he tried to reel me into that swing. And then there was a saying he said, he was like, when I was done, he asked me to say, Jesus be with us all. Or it was something like that. It was some saying like that. He asked me to repeat it. And I denied to repeat it. I said, no, I'm not going to repeat it. Boy, he got mad. And I was like, yo, like, why can't you just respect the fact that I'm not, I don't abide by those rules. He was talking about how there's only one way to salvation, and that one way, if you don't follow that one way, there's only one way to salvation. And if you don't follow that way, you're going to end up in hell. Sorry, I don't believe in that. That's not a God that's not a God I want to believe in. Simple as that. There's no deeper meaning to that other than if God isn't an understanding person and an understanding being, I don't want to believe in someone who if you don't follow the strict set of rules, by the way that were written by man, they say that you can't make it in like, it baffles me. It does. And like a lot of religions have that, like they have their separate ways of showing their faith to them. And I'm not against, like, don't misconstrue what I'm saying again. I'm not against religion. I'm not. I just won't ever like tie myself to one religion. If you do research and you see how intricate and detailed so many religions are, how can you just believe that there's one? Like, it's just one that's correct. Not to mention, by the way, a lot of them all lead back to, they all have the same belief in one God. So how the hell can you say that there's only one way of salvation? It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And I didn't mean for that to get super deep. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, but I guess I'll mention it now. The reason I got a panda mask on my head is because this is the week of Halloween. Be safe. That's all I gotta say on that. Be safe on Halloween. I know how crazy it could get. I know y'all wild out there. Stay safe. All right. Let's see what else we got. What else? All right. I want to talk about the concept of being wrong. Newsflash to a lot of people. I don't know who needs to hear this or who doesn't need to hear this. More times than not, you are going to be wrong. It doesn't matter in what. It doesn't matter in life. You will be wrong, especially in your younger years. I'd say like 80% of the time you think something right, it's not. It's wrong. Accept that. The reason why I say accept that is because it's dangerous to to abide by your own beliefs. It's dangerous to not acknowledge your shortcomings, I guess. I had a friend who's very much like that, who does not want to acknowledge the wrongness of their behaviors. And I'm just saying, this is the only, like, this is I guess a PSA to anyone who needs to hear this. You are going to be wrong. More times than not, you will be wrong. It's okay. You're not perfect. We're human. Like, accept that. Jeez. You make mistakes. You live. You learn. That's all I wanted to say on that. While I'm on the topic of being wrong, I also want to talk about the power in not knowing. Another PSA to anyone who needs to hear it. It's okay to not know everything in the world. It's okay to not know everything in your relationships, whether it be romantic, friendship, family, co-workers, and anything like that. It's okay to not know. You do not have to know everything, because knowing too much will hurt you. It just will. It's okay to say, yo, I don't want to know. Or it's okay to accept the fact that you don't know, and it's better that it stays that way. So many times people go searching for information and they're hurt by the information they find. And I'm telling you, sometimes it is okay to not know. It's okay to not know all the, like, as humans, we're so oblivious to so much shit that in nature wise, it's okay to not know. Like, no one knows if there's aliens out there or not. No one knows what the bottom of the ocean is, what the bottom of the ocean holds. It's okay to not know. And these two little side rants, I only bring them up because I'm dealing with a certain situation right now. And man, you have to understand how small you are in the like, there's 7 billion people out in the world right now. And I know I'm doing a poor job of explaining why exactly I'm on these topics, but trust me, it'll help someone out there. It will. I guess I'll just leave it at that. There's 7 billion people in the world. So don't be so self-centered, man. It's such a nasty thing to be, self-centered. To think everything revolves around you. Like, you're so, like, when it comes to the concept of the world, you're so fucking insignificant and small. And again, I am a positive person. But people need to hear that, because egos get big. Egos get too big to stomach sometimes. Man, oh man. All right, let's move on, man. Let's talk about something else. Let's see what I got here. It's that weather, man. It's that time of year. It's that time of year to just relax, throw on some R&B. The fits get a little bit sharper, you know. Weather gets a little bit cooler. Music starts hitting a little different when you're with certain people. It's just time to enjoy, man. This is my favorite time of year. I love it. Just enjoy life right now, man. Right now, this is the perfect time. All right. Just wanted to touch on that. The only podcast will give you weather updates, man. All right. I want to talk about white people. Now, white people. I love white people. I do. There's a certain innocence they carry with them. It's funny. It's always funny to see whenever they're not culturally in tune with something that they think things are okay, and they're not maybe all the way culturally in tune. Like I said, it's always funny to see. Now in with the release of this Joker movie, there was scenes in the Joker movie where the Joker was walking down the steps in Brooklyn. I want to say, I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. He was in Brooklyn. He was going down some steps, and apparently I haven't watched the movie yet, but apparently it's iconic. It's an iconic moment, and it's important to the movie. These steps in Brooklyn, and these steps in Brooklyn are not located. It was either Brooklyn or Harlem. I'm not sure. These steps are located in a part of New York that is not supposed to be a tourist site, right? So I'm seeing online these. I saw this video online where this guy was this black man who lived, I guess, in the area, was throwing eggs at people, at white people. They were throwing eggs at white people who basically view them steps as a tourist site. Now, number one, they have every right. They are lawfully, no, they're not in the right for throwing eggs at the people. But yes, the white people deserve it. Now, I've seen a lot of people online talking about something. All right, why do people care so much? Well, because before that movie dropped, those steps, guess how many white people those steps had? None. Mind you, this is New York, where the probably the same people walk these steps every day. The release of this Joker movie comes out, and now you see like a whole bunch of like people that don't belong on these steps that is garnishing attention, and it looks stupid. It looks wild from a person who's living there, from a person who's living there standpoint. It looks insane. That's your neighborhood. That's where you live. Now you got all these people taking pictures and shit. I get it. I know why they threw the eggs. Now that's not to say they're in the right, but I just kind of wanted to mention that real quickly because I thought it was interesting. White people always carry this certain innocence when it comes innocence. I'm calling it innocence because that's such a nice, kind word. They carry this certain innocence with them when it comes to things they should be aware of. Take one look at that neighborhood and tell me that there's supposed to be a tourist attraction in the middle of it. Get away from them steps. They don't look friendly. The people who are around there, they don't look friendly. Stay away. Come on. Respect. That's all I gotta say about that. And I guess while I'm on the topic of because this is brought up in a superhero movie. All right. Moving along. I do want to say that before the season started, before the football season started, I was one of the few, and I'm not gonna say I was the only one because I know there was a couple people that felt the way that I did. I was one of the few that said, "Yo, the Browns suck. The Cleveland Browns are not good, and they will not be a good Super Bowl. They would not be a good football team. I cannot tell you how many people laughed me out of a room because I said that, because their claim was there's too much talent on that Cleveland Browns team for it to be a failure. I just want to point out that I was right. And this is a very selfish moment. I was right. The Cleveland Browns are hot garbage juice. They're trash. They're not good. And really, if you study, like, you don't even gotta study. You just gotta take a quick look at the way their team is set up, and you'll see the flaws they got in their team. And that's all I wanted to say about that. People talking about, oh, the Cleveland Browns are gonna make the Super Bowl, they're playoff contenders. Nah. Same old Browns team. And that's all I gotta say about that. Now, moving along. I want to talk about this funny notion that came up the other day while I was at work. I'm talking about this Walmart job. There's not a lot of people who I really like at that job. No offense to anyone who's watching this who works there. Not like, there's not a lot of people who I consider a friend that work at that job. There's a lot of coworkers. And I've been working at that job for, I want to say, 6 months now. And it's been a lot of the same people. It's been a very stagnant position. And I want to that's always a good thing to differentiate your coworkers, and boundaries between people. I think it's always good to set boundaries between people, because it's too many times people think people are friends, and then other people don't consider other people friends, not as close. And then even when it gets to the point where you do call someone a friend, I put a lot of stock into that that phrase, friend. I don't have a lot of people I call my friend. If I call you a homie, there's a reason I call you a homie and not a friend. No disrespect to anyone that I do, but I think the friendship requires a different level of a relationship, and it always hurts. It's always something. When you misjudge a friendship, it always hurts, because you just gotta take it on the chin, and you can't really say, you can't really be like, yo, I thought we were closer friends than that. I think that's corny. Honestly, I think that's corny. So when that happens, when you think that you're closer to someone than you actually are on a friendship level, it hurts. It's mad corny to be like, yo, I thought we were closer friends than that. Because not a lot of people put stock into friends. Like the word of friends. That concept of friends. But yeah, and that's all I wanted to say on that. On friendships. All right, last topic before I get out of here is I want to talk about language. Certain language that's used. I want to talk about cursing, swearing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm aware that swearing is not a proper form of speak. But I personally do think that is a proper form of expression. In the same way that people use adjectives and adverbs to express the way they feel, cursing is a way of doing that. And I don't think, because, all right, to give a little bit of backstory, I was at work again. There's a lot of stories coming from work. I was at work again, and my supervisor called me in because she doesn't like the fact that I curse. I curse a lot, if you don't know. In my day to day, I curse a lot. Like, this is like, when I'm cursing here, it's probably because I don't intentionally mean to. I just do. So my supervisor called me in and she was like, "Yo, you need to stop cursing. Is looking bad on like it reflects bad on your coworkers, because obviously I don't do it to customers. Like, I'm not that stupid. But when I'm talking to coworkers, a lot of people don't like the fact that you curse. Out of respect to them, I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I'll respect them." And then I asked, all right, who were the coworkers that complained? And there was a couple. There was two. And out of respect to them, I won't curse in front of them anymore, because cursing, I feel like, is a form of slang. And like I said, expression. So when that happens, after that happened, I went to go speak with them, like to see if, like, yo, like, why did you report it? Like what exactly was, like, wrong? And I respect their decision. Like I said, I respect their decision, but I just want to know why. I'm that type of person. If you tell me to do something, I'll do it, but I'm gonna just ask why. So they were like they explained to me basically that it's it makes you seem like a bad person, or like that it makes me come off like as if I don't really care, or I'm a bad person. I didn't say it to their face, but wow, that was some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Now, I say that because, again, I view cursing as an expression. If you are judging someone, if you're judging someone's character by the way, by the fact that they're using the certain types of words they use, nah, I'm not rolling. Especially if the words are harmless. Cursing is harmless. There's not only if the I only like cursing is a bad form of judging someone's character. It's the worst type of speech to judge someone's character, because, again, it's a form of expression. I don't think saying fuck and shit makes me a bad person. Does it sound a certain type of way? Maybe, I don't know. But I just do it. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It's like I use cursing much like I do slang. So all that is. That's simply it. I don't do it to paint a certain image of myself. I don't do it I only do it to express myself. So when people tell me that they don't like, they judge me as a bad person because I curse, I kind of just laugh. Because not only does everyone do it, and it's not a certain, like, there's only a few type of people that don't ever curse. And my respect to them, everyone curses, whether it be in public or private. Why the hell do I gotta filter myself in private conversations that you are not a part of? By the way, I don't talk to these people that you are not a part of for you, I guess, for them. I didn't like that. I really didn't. It kind of struck a nerve with me. Like, how are you, like, you're basic, what they basically told me is that you're a bad person because of the way you choose to express yourself. Nah, I'm cool. Don't judge me by that alone. I don't like that. Don't do that. I think that says more about you than it does about me. And that's all I'll say about that. I guess I'll end it here. This is a fun podcast. Again, it's the holidays, man. Stay safe. Don't be reckless. Stay safe. I'll end it like this because you know Halloween is one of those holidays that were so much funner when you were young, and now is just another excuse to party. I miss childhood Halloweens. One of the best moments of my childhood came like during Halloween. It was so fun. It was such a fun time, fun experience. Yeah. So, stay safe. Check back next week. Trying to do this every single week. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I appreciate you guys that are listening this far. I don't know how many people actually listen this far, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Every view means the world to me. I want to keep doing this. I really do. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy having a platform to speak. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys next week. Episode number 3 done. In the books, man. In the books. Let's end this shit, man.